Alexandra Eala deserves credit for the clay court decision she's just made. Alexandra Eala had a sunshine double to remember by picking up some important wins at Indian Wells and the Miami Open. The Filipina defeated Coco Gauff, Magda Linette, and Laura Siegemund across the two events as she made the round of 16 in both tournaments. Eala was dominated by Karolina Muchova in Miami, which followed a loss at the same stage of Indian Wells to Linda Noskova. The 20-year-old now heads to Europe for the clay court season, and her latest decision has proved she truly wants to crack the elite of the WTA Tour. Alexandra Eala's decision to play Stuttgart qualifiers should be applauded. Eala is set to play the Linz Open as her first clay court tournament of the season, alongside Emma Raducanu. The 20-year-old will then head to the WTA 500 event in Stuttgart, where she plans to earn access through qualifying. Eala should be given immense credit to try and play the Stuttgart Open rather than continuing. With 250 tournaments, she could have played Open de Rouen in France, but she opted to try and tough it out to continue her quest to play the best players on the tour. Alexandra Eala deserves more than a passing mention for the clay court decision she has just made. She deserves real credit. In a sport where young players are often pulled in multiple directions by rankings, sponsorships, and the pressure to chase quick success, choosing a path that prioritizes long-term growth over short-term gains is neither easy nor common. Yet, that is precisely what this decision reflects: clarity, courage, and a deep understanding of the game she wants to build. Clay courts are not forgiving. They expose weaknesses with ruthless honesty. Points stretch longer, rallies demand patience, and victories are earned through construction rather than impulse. For a rising player, committing to clay is almost like agreeing to take the scenic route when everyone else is sprinting down the highway. It requires discipline to embrace slower progress, to accept losses that come not from lack of talent, but from the process of learning how to think differently on court. Eala's choice signals maturity beyond her years. Many young athletes gravitate toward faster surfaces where aggressive play can yield quicker rewards. On those courts, raw power and instinct can sometimes mask gaps in footwork, endurance, or tactical awareness. Clay strips all of that away. It demands movement that is both efficient and elegant, an understanding of spin, and the patience to construct points layer by layer. By choosing clay, Eala is choosing to refine the very foundations of her game. There is also a quiet confidence in this decision. It suggests she is not afraid of the uncomfortable phase of growth, the stage where results may fluctuate and progress is not immediately visible. That confidence is rare, especially in an era where every match is scrutinized and every ranking shift is amplified. To step onto clay courts and embrace the grind is to say, I am willing to be a student of this sport for as long as it takes. This decision also carries a broader significance. For players coming from regions where clay is not the dominant surface, committing to it often requires additional effort, travel, adaptation, and sometimes even a shift in training philosophy. It is not simply about playing matches on clay, it is about immersing oneself in a different rhythm of tennis. The bounce is higher, the pace is slower, and the strategy is more intricate. By making this choice, Eala is expanding her versatility, ensuring she is not confined to one style or one type of court. What stands out most, however, is the message this sends about ambition. True ambition is not always loud or immediate. Sometimes it is quiet and deliberate. It is the willingness to invest time in skills that may not pay off today, but will define a career tomorrow. Eala's decision reflects that kind of ambition, the kind that builds champions who are adaptable, resilient, and complete. There is a certain poetry to clay court tennis as well. Matches unfold like narratives, with shifts in momentum, subtle adjustments, and moments of brilliance that feel earned rather than sudden. By choosing this environment, Eala is placing herself in a space where creativity is not just encouraged but required. Drop shots, heavy topspin, angles that pull opponents off the court. These are the tools of a player who is thinking, experimenting, and evolving. Credit, in this case, should not be reserved only for the outcome of the decision. Whether it leads to immediate titles or a gradual climb, the value lies in the intention behind it. It is a reminder that development is not linear and that the choices made away from the spotlight often shape what happens under it. In a sport that often celebrates instant success, Alexandra Eala's clay court decision is a refreshing counterpoint. It is thoughtful rather than reactive, patient rather than rushed. And in that, it reveals something important. She is not just playing matches, she is building a game, a mindset, and ultimately, a career that can endure. That is why she deserves credit. Not just for the decision itself, but for what it represents, a commitment to growth, a respect for the craft, and the courage to choose the harder path when it matters most. The Stuttgart Open features a stacked lineup, with Aryna Sabalenka, Goff, and Elena Rybakina all signing up for the event. Eala's mentality to try to play and beat the best players on the tour will put her in good stead as she continues to climb the rankings. Who else has joined the Women's Stuttgart Open qualifying? With the main draw more stacked than ever, there are several big stars having to enter the event through qualifying. Eala is the second highest ranked player in the qualifying draw, behind world number 38 Magdalena Frech.